Good morning, Unity. How's everybody doing? Oh, love is gentle as a rose, and love can conquer any war. It's time to take a stand. Brothers and sisters, join hands. We've got to let love rule. Let love rule. We've got to let love rule. Let love rule. Love transcends all space and time, and love can make a little child smile. Can't you see? Oh, this won't go wrong. But we gotta be strong. We can't do this alone. We've gotta let love rule. Let love rule. We've got to let love rule. Let love rule. You've got to let love rule. We've got to let your love rule. We've got to let love rule. Let love rule.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. It's wonderful having all of you here. We welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center as we gather with an idea, a radical idea of what would happen in our lives if we let love rule. If we absolutely let love have its way with us, to remind us that we're whole, infinite, complete, and we are a part of humanity and the evolution of consciousness on this planet. So we welcome those of you who are with us online. We believe that all of the universe is energy, that we are creating an energy field of love in which we do live and move and have our being. I'm Reverend Lisa Davis. I'm part of this journey, part of this community of remembering the truth of who we are. And I want to invite you in this morning. We're going to look at this idea of love. And most of us were taught either we weren't lovable, we weren't enough, we weren't something. Instead of love is the only power, the only energy, the only vibration on this planet. And so if you've been living in an otherness this week, a place where you weren't part of that infinite intelligence and that wholeness and the life and the call of spirit, I would just invite you to step into that right now, to step into the movement, to step in, to take a step over here. What would happen if I just recognized not only was I created in a field, a quantum field of love? You can call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it Jesus, you can call it whatever you would like. But the truth is, it's an infinite intelligence that guides us, that lifts us, that heals us, that reminds us of who we are, and has been doing so for all of eternity as we gradually open to a larger consciousness. But when we step into that, we begin letting go of the old ideas and breathing in the new. And so as we begin this service in prayer, I would invite you to breathe in the idea that love created me. I am love, whole, infinite, and complete, and I am here as love. Let's begin this service in prayer. Mother, Father, God, infinite Spirit, we open as the love, the very vibration of the universe that moves through us now. We say yes to allowing love to expand in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies, in our beings, and in our world. We recognize that that foundation of love reminds us that we are all one, interdependent on this planet, in this sacred spiritual journey, and that together we can heal. We can remember the truth of our beings, and we can say yes to being that channel. For this opportunity to gather in these ideas and to allow them to move through us freely, completely. We are so blessed, and we surround those in Turkey and Syria and in all of the places where there have been shootings, and there have been several this week. We hold these places knowing that pure love is present, it's available, and we surround these beings, lifting them, reminding them that we are all one. For this opportunity to gather in this knowing and to allow it to transform us at depth, we are blessed. And so it is. Amen. So we welcome you. Beth is going to share some of the exciting things that are happening as we take this journey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And there are exciting things happening, especially if you were here Friday night, right? Oh my gosh. We had the best time, and I just want to take this moment to acknowledge all of these workers and the person who coordinated all of these workers, Colleen Story. Stand up. If you were somebody who made a dish, who cleaned a dish, who welcomed somebody, stand up, all you people who participated. We had so many wonderful contributions to this event, and we can't thank you enough for supporting it. Y'all had a great time, didn't you? It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It's like the first big thing we've done inside in like 3 years. So yeah, so it was big, and it was successful, and we're gonna do more. Yay! Yes. So, as you all know, as I lead every week, that the prayer chaplains are the foundation of this ministry. And now, Colleen's now the special events coordinator by default, as well as a prayer chaplain. But anyway, I want to introduce our prayer chaplains who hold the high watch for us all the time. Colleen and Carol are available to pray with you today. Following the service, if you have something on your heart and you would like to be prayed with, they are available for you right up front here. If you're not ready to do that, there's prayer requests in the backs of the chairs, and you can fill those out. Leave them in the prayer box here. They'll be held for 30 days until they send them on to Silent Unity. And we have a wonderful dial a prayer where if you need a midweek lift, you can call every day and get a new message, which is just fantastic. So we have little business cards out on the table. If you don't have that number, make sure you pick it up. So I just want to make a quick mention, a little teaser. We do have another event coming up in March. On the 19th, we're going to have a concert with Larry Wilder. You had a little tease of him on Friday night, but he's going to do an hour concert, and we're going to pair up with the Raphael House Women's and Children's Shelter. And so this is going to be a fundraiser. We're going to have love offering, I think $15 for a ticket. And we're going to serve lunch, which you can buy before the concert. So it's just another little way to create community and share the love here at Unity of Portland. And we hope you'll be a part of that on March 19th. We have 2 more weeks to collect books for the YOU Spring Book Sale. This is an annual fundraiser that they do to make money for spring rallies and retreats. And so I want to just make mention, if you're forgetting to bring them on Sundays, we're here Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4. You can drop them off during the week, and we'll make sure they get down to the kids. And let me make mention, I doubt anybody's buying any plants right now, but I know it's coming. So they are going to have a plant sale in March also, which is going to help them. And you can order plants. And we're also going to give you an opportunity to order plants for our garden, too. And then we're going to have a community planning day. So more on that in the spring. That sounds like a lot of fun, too. Today, following the service, the women's group is going to meet in the chapel. I've got the 20s and 30-somethings. They're going to meet downstairs in the teen room with Alex. And then we're bringing bingo back. The bingo team is going to have some bingo downstairs, $1 a card. We're going to give them some practice for when they go public. So after Coffee and Connection, plan to stick around, take part in that. Always something fun to do here, I'm telling you. So next Sunday following this, we're a full service ministry here. I'm just telling you, next Sunday, we're having a financial workshop after the service. So our own Jim Toscano, who's working with the endowment fund, this is just a really informal, non-technical termed workshop on wills and trusts. We all need a will. I know it's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but we all should be thinking about it. So come and talk, meet with Jim. Jim, stand up so they know who you are. Jim, stand up so they know who you are. So Jim's going to be here next Sunday. He is such a treasure for us. We appreciate everything he does for us. So the spring sign-up geniuses went out this week, so we're looking at March, April, May. Some of you have been great at going to Sign Up Genius and signing up. Some of you have not, but that's okay because I have help now. And I want to do a special introduction to Dixie Junius. Dixie, yes. A lot of you, if you're new here in the past few months, you've already talked to Dixie because she's calling you on the phone and she's welcoming you into the community and seeing where you want to plug in. And she's taken that a step further and going to help me out tremendously on Sunday mornings and throughout the week by wrangling you volunteers for Sunday morning and making sure that we have a full deck for everything that we need. You know, it takes seven to 8 volunteers every week just to pull off what we do on a Sunday. So we really appreciate you getting involved. Those sign-up geniuses come out in your email. You get them every week in your email from the service ministry. And if you miss it or you forgot about it, Dixie's going to be out at the desk with a clipboard and sign-up sheets. Come and see her, and let's fill the calendars. We'll all feel better once they're full. So thank you, Dixie. We appreciate you stepping into that. Big help, big help. If you're not already receiving the newsletter, you can pick out one of those neon cards in the backs of the chairs, and you can fill that out for us so that we get you on the mailing list. And if you're here in the sanctuary for the first time, our ushers are coming forward with our welcome packets. And if you're at home, there's a QR code that the team is putting up there now. And there's also one on this card. If your handwriting is not too good, you can use that and give us your information. But this gets you on our mailing list and on our newsletter. So if it's your first time, raise your hand up high so they can see where you're at and get you one of our packets. On the front, there's a little sticker with a rose on it. We'd love you to stick that to your lapel so we know who you are following the service. And we invite you downstairs to Coffee and Connection. Today's Coffee and Connection, presented by the men of Portland Unity, and we're so grateful for them. And I'm told to announce today, you don't have to come to the men's group to participate on the men's Coffee and Connection on Sunday morning. If you're a man, you qualify to help them out. And they need it. And Gary's down there today. So go down and talk to him if you're a guy and you want to get involved here in some fun way. That's a great way to do it. We appreciate it. All right. That's a wrap. You guys have a great week. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, thank you. And by the way, Beth's saying it takes 7 to 8 volunteers to do Sunday mornings. It doesn't include our regular volunteers that are about 15 other people, including all of our singers. We have people up in the sound booth. We have people downstairs with our youth and family ministry. And our belief, we have chaplains that literally hold us and envelop us in this idea. And our desire is to create a place that when someone walks through these doors, they know they're loved, they know that they're enough for whatever is in front of them, and they know there's a community that believes in them. And that's wherever they come from. So we're so happy to have you here. I want you to know, if you're a newcomer, we welcome you. What we know about every one of us is that right where we are is exactly where we're supposed to be. We are on a spiritual path. We are called. There is literally an evolutionary call that is asking us to move into a fuller version of who we are individually, collectively, and globally. So we're happy to have you with us. If this community works for you, I would encourage you to become a part. I believe that when we are a part, first of all, and this is just the science of it, that our brains got smaller in the parts that connect over the pandemic. And so you have to actually make yourself do it. Anybody have to do that? It's like, oh, I could just stay in bed today. But we're recreating those parts of our brain that connect, because we know that connection is such an important part. In fact, it's an eternal desire to bond, to connect. But what we know is that who we are is vital and it's important. But the idea of connection is important. If this community does not work for you, I would encourage you to find one that does. If this community works with you, for you, and supports you on your spiritual journey, then find a place to connect, because it reminds us of who we are, and we are all as one on this journey. So I am grateful that we get to be a part of so many life journeys. One of our congregants turned 100 this week, Jeanette Kittleson, and she is vibrant, she's alive. You know, it's like this journey and this movement of spirit and how we hold ourselves is so important. So we are going to stand and sing.
Yeah. We have a new congregational song that we are going to invite into our experience, so please stand if you're comfortable doing so. This is Coming Together by Faith Rivera. It's going to be super easy. Whatever you see on the screen is an echo. So you'll be echoing me. The choir's going to sing with you. And then at the very end, we are going to try to sing One Heart, One Mind, One Love, Coming Together, together. 1, 2, 3. I've got love. I've got peace. I've got joy flowing like a river. I've got love. I've got peace. I've got joy flowing like a river. One heart, one mind, one love flowing like a river. I've got hope. I've got strength. I've got faith. Move every mountain. I've got hope. I've got strength. I've got faith. Move every mountain. One heart, one mind, one love. Move every mountain. I've got you. I've got me. I've got us. We're coming together. I've got you. I've got me. I've got us. Coming together. One heart, one mind, one love. Coming together. We're coming together. We're coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. One heart, one mind, one love. Coming together. We're coming together. We're coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. job. Good job.
And I just invite you to turn to those around you with a handshake and just ask for a hug and just say namaste. So good to have you with me. Oh, do you know, someone was saying our services have gotten longer. We're greeting each other again, and and nobody wants to stop. And I said, that's okay. That's part, I think, of what humanity's learning, is how important it is to find a way to realize we belong. Somehow the old science and the old religious traditions and these old ideas tried to tell us we didn't belong, or we weren't whole enough to be this or to be that. And as we spend just a few moments in meditation this morning, and there'll be music and there'll be an opportunity to open your heart and your mind, the invitation is always that we do it individually. To heal. We want to heal what's out there. And I have a feeling a few of us could list what we don't want to have anymore. But the truth is, it begins happening when humanity no longer believes that they aren't enough to handle what's in their world, that they have a direct connection with the divine, and that who they are is good. It's love, it's life. And so this morning we're going to work at breathing in love, because you might not have been given that message, and if you were, it's wonderful. But as you listen to this message and this music, I just invite you to remember that in our individual lives, we can always take the time to breathe and to remember, cellularly, to remember who we are and the truth of the journey we walk.
To give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. To give and receive love. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here to give and receive love.
as we breathe in, closing our outer eyes and opening the inner eyes, we turn within, relaxing our bodies, quieting our minds. I'm here to give and receive love. I am love. I breathe in the very energy of the universe, the ground of being, love, a vibration. I am love. I allow that movement to move throughout my being, beginning in my heart, and that vibration of white light moving throughout my being. I am love. I vibrate at the energy, with the energy, in the energy of love. It reminds me that I am whole, just as I am. Or I am that I am has birthed me, created me. It reminds me I am whole, and I sit in that wholeness. I am love. In the silence, in the silence. And as I continue to breathe in the realization of love as a vibration, I realize that it expands my understanding that all is one in the infinite presence. That who I am is an individualized expression of the universal energy of love. And my journey is remembering I am love. And for that realization, I say thank you, Infinite Spirit. Thank you for this day, this breath, this journey, this sacred journey. And so it is. Amen.
I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. We are here to give and receive love. We are here. We are here to give and receive. We are here to give and receive love. We are here to give and receive. To give and receive. receive love. Shadoop, ooh, shadoop, ooh, shadoop, ooh, shadoop.
There is so much going on in our world,
Shadoop,
and sometimes I just want to look away. But the you I see is no different from me.
shadoop.
It may seem like we are worlds apart, but we all care, feel, and love the same.
'Cause you know it's love I feel for you. 'Cause you know it's love I have for you. 'Cause you know it's love that makes this world our home. And I know it's love you feel for me. And I know it's love you have for me. 'Cause we know it's love that makes this world our home.
So let us resolve to be love, remembering who we are. Let us resolve to speak love, remembering who we are. Let us resolve to see love, remembering who we are. Let us resolve to know love, remembering who
And I
we
know I
are.
can depend on you, and it's in the truth I am renewed. 'Cause you know it's love that makes this world our home. And you know it's faith that moves our soul, living life in oneness we are whole. Yes, we know it's love that makes this world our home.
Small acts of love and kindness can transform a situation in an instant. The choice of compassion can transform someone's day in an instant. Our world becomes a sacred divine reality in an instant. In an instant, let there be kindness. In an instant, let there be compassion. In an instant, let there be love.
'Cause you know it's love I feel for you. 'Cause you know it's love I have for you. 'Cause you know it's love that makes this world our home. And you know it's love you feel for me. And you know it's love you have for me. Yes, we know it's love that makes this world. Love that makes this world our home. Love that makes this world. Thank you, Beth.
Wow, how wonderful. Thank you, thank you. We are so blessed. I just want to say how wonderful it is to be in this space, to hear this music, to understand that. And Beth, thank you. I appreciate that. She said, I'm part of the music this week. And I said, oh, you are? She goes, you'll have to wait and see. So, wow. Are we willing to be that part of love? How many of us were raised, first of all, how many of us were raised with the idea that we are channels for love? Okay, we got a couple that were. That's an important idea. How many of us were raised that love is the only vibrant energy present on our planet? Okay, that one, okay, we got a couple. That's good. I want us to look at the idea of love, and the message title today is This Instant is Love, because I want to see what does it take. My belief, and I say it so many Sundays, is that part of what we're doing to stand for the change that we desire to see on this planet and in this world is learning to love ourselves. Because somehow traditions and cultures and religions decided, and basically Christianity as one of those, decided to say, this is how it is, that you are not whole and you're not born in wholeness. And what we hold here is you're born in an original blessing. I can go through all the hows, but that's about a 2 or 3 hour workshop that goes through these ideas. And somehow, many of us in the traditions we were raised with got ideas that weren't that way. But for us to step forward and make the change we'd like to see politically, that we'd like to see in the systemic racism that is present, that we are a part of changing, to look at what's happening in the LGBTQIA area right now, because there's a lot of things that we get to pay attention to. We get to know who we are and find the love that we are, so that we have the ability to know the largeness of our beings and to be able to stand in, well, the truth is they're whole. The truth is that who we are as humanity, we came to walk this journey together, and we're interdependent. We can't survive on planet Earth without looking at who we are. And I believe one of the most important things we get to do is to reinforce this idea of love. Now, many of us were raised as love is something you try to do, and it can hurt. And it hurts when the people we love are not on this planet or not in our lives, or, how do we balance all those things? But what I want to look at, first of all, is the universal energy of love. I call it the ground of being. There is a presence and a power that will take us anywhere we desire to go, that will teach us who we are. If you've been told you aren't this, and we'll look at that in a little bit. If you've been told you aren't this, you're not whole, and I don't even like to use the word sinner, because that word, of course, is translated wrong, and yet, that has nothing to do with it. But if you were told that, you were told a lie. It was flat out, it was an interpretation of someone that they did not understand their wholeness. They were probably raised with that idea, and somewhere it got started. And that's what we were raised with. We're separate. How do you go into a country and divide them? You tell them they're not enough, and then you got to find somebody who's not enough. And it lives from there. And that they're wrong, and they're wrong, and they're the cause, and they're the cause. But the truth is, some of this foundation is standing in the realization that we're one with the universal energy that created us. One of the books I've been working with is The Aramaic Jesus. And you might say, oh, wait a minute, I don't want anything to do with that. And that's okay. But the revelations of the Aramaic Jesus are, what did Jesus actually believe as he began this ministry? Now, in Unity, we look at a spiritual interpretation of all the wisdom texts. And you can find these same ideas in Buddhism. You can find them in the essence of the mystical Judaism. You can find them in Islam. They're there. And actually, after Easter, that's what we're going to study, is the 7 central practices of all the world's religions. What are the central practices? And I'm not talking beliefs, because I'd like beliefs, but the truth is, at some point, I got to practice it. I've got to find a way to take it from, wow, love is wonderful, it's there, to I am loving. I am lovable. I am the very energy of love, and to let that move through me. And so how do we do that? There is wisdom there. But the idea, Jesus believed that he was one with his world. We were raised in a physics. It's not quantum physics, it's old physics that said this is separate from this is separate from this is separate. Jesus walked a path that said, I'm one with my world. And the heavens and the earth and all of this, it all teaches me. And I'm a part of that movement. And so one of the most important things we can begin doing is getting a ground of being, a basis that says love is the eternal essence of the universe. It's what breathes us. It's what heals us. It's what reminds us we are whole. Now, the scientist Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, the Jesuit priest and paleontologist, and honestly, he has 2 other ologists, and I don't know what they are right now. But in his book, The Phenomenon of Man, he talked about love as the only energy of the universe. And he was the first one that I'm aware of that started saying, evolution is God. It's the same thing. Science and this movement are not, and the mysticism that's there in these traditions is not different. But unfortunately, there was this whole movement that said, oh no, this is what you need to believe. And so we're going to look at some of these pieces, but I want to look at this idea of the foundation of love. Now, we're actually coming up on Lent. And some of you may say, oh gosh. You know, the first time I actually found out that people gave up things for Lent, because I was raised in Unity, and all I heard was that it's the time we clean out all of our old negative thinking and all of our stuff to prepare for an awakening, a birth. In fact, I was told, again, that the cross stands for crossing out negativity and the old ideas that bind us. What would happen if every year we decided, I'm no longer going to believe this, and instead I'm going to let go of that idea and allow myself to rise a little higher? So the idea of Lent, when I was in high school and my friend said, well, I'm giving up fish for all of Lent. Now, we were in South Florida, so there was a lot of fish. And she said, what are you giving up? And I was like, what do you mean? And then I said, old ideas. And she looked at me and she said, you can't do that. It has to be something you eat. And I said, why does it have to be something we eat? And she said, that's what you do. And she said, and my family always works to find something that we don't really mind giving up, so it's not too hard. And I was like, man, that's not what I learned at home. So I went home and asked my mom, and I said, what is Lent? And she said, it's not in the Bible. It doesn't have anything to do with that. Those were the traditions in place at the time. They were the celebrations of the spring. And so it was going into these ideas, and what can you get out to get ready to plant something new and have it actually bloom? Have you ever tried to have an old field that wasn't actually cleared? Any of us living in an old field that wasn't cleared from the last, 50 years or 40 years or 30 years? But it's the idea is the invitation is, okay, clear it out and then allow something more to happen. And so about 100 years into the foundation of Christianity, which of course was designed to follow the teachings of Jesus. What Dr. Neil Douglas Klotz says were the basic teachings of Jesus were love, justice, and a reliance on an individual power. You can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Those were the three basic teachings. And part of the aspect of love was forgiveness. But that was it. That was where it was. Anybody heard that growing up? Anybody get the message that's what this being was teaching? So I want to look at some of that, not because I want to I want us to rethink and get rid of the old stuff. So this foundation, and then I said, what's your favorite Unity book? Now, Unity has all these little books. That's what they were in my age. They were this big. Now they're bigger. But they're old ideas. I would read them like, I don't want to read this stuff, because Charles Fillmore wrote in Kansas City, Missouri, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and let me tell you, they were an hour outside of Kansas City. You could not get into a rougher area. It is still that way today. I was jokingly saying they did a diversity, equity, inclusion workshop for a week, free to all businesses in Kansas City, and they got death threats. Today, last year, that's where some of the consciousness is. So it is in the middle of an interesting idea, and Charles Fillmore, was considered a heretic. But his idea, and so I said, why do you want to keep a true Lent? And she said, because he took all of his basic truth ideas and put them into one book. And you just go through every day and think on these ideas and let go of anything that isn't as large as what you have. And so she said, every year I review what I believe and I choose something higher. And so I went into his idea of love. And this is what he said. He said, love in divine mind. And I want you to recognize that was his word for the universal energy. Divine mind. You could call it God. You could call it whatever you want. I call it a quantum field because I think it's easier to understand the vibration. But love in divine mind is the idea of universal unity. In expression, it is the power that joins and binds together the universe and everything in it. It is a harmonizing, constructive power. And remember, I think this one, this writing was done in about 1912 or something, when When love is made active in consciousness, so that's what we're working to do, it conserves substance, and he believes substance was the quantum field, and reconstructs, rebuilds, and restores, and he says man in his world, so I say humankind. It reconstructs who we are. If we will breathe it in and begin believing that, Rumi said, we are the universe becoming aware of itself. The universe is the universal energy of love desiring to become aware of itself. And what I found was I'm going to be miserable until I take the old ideas that I'm not enough, that I'm not worthy, that I'm not lovable, that something isn't possible for my being. I can't heal from this. I can't forgive from this. All of us have different life journeys. And every one of us is a call to know more deeply that underneath us, the very ground of our being is love. And it's a vibration that will actually help us reconstruct our beliefs. This is what Jesus taught. I believe this is what Buddha taught in enlightenment, sitting under that Bodhi tree. It was an ability to allow that to happen. Jesus walked a path of that. All of these wisdom teachers did. What does that have to do with us? They were saying, follow this way, because this way will teach us. And humanity, long before Jesus had anything to do with this, was celebrating, clear out the old, clear out these ideas, and allow something more within so we can grow and expand and learn from that. And so will I take, first of all, when I want to say this instant is love, that means at the very ground of being that I am standing on right now, whether I am in a protest, I am in a place that does not serve me or believe in me, wherever I am, the ground of being that created me, that holds me, and that is with me is love. It is available at any moment, and the only way I get separate from it is in my mind and my heart. Because somewhere in there, somebody told me I wasn't created by that love. And that is a culture that has come in that we get to say, wait a minute. No, I am the vibration of love. And I believe we get to spend some time replacing our thoughts and our beliefs about who we are. Now, this is not ego-driven. If we're saying, I'm love and I got all the answers, anybody notice we're in a lot of trouble. Anytime we think we have all the answers, I used to hear all the time, the universe laughs and says, well, let me help you learn something else to continue learning. We find the answers from within, and they're actually realized when we begin holding the ground of being that's there, everywhere present. We hold it, and we begin recognizing it in our bodies. And then, as we do that, I am. We allow that love to express out as us. And we begin knowing that this instant is whole. It is love. So we have the ground of being. We begin allowing it expressing as us. And that takes, for me, the only way that I had that realization was allowing it to expand in my mind and my body. And so I sat in a chair, often with a little timer over there, because my mom said, you're not doing it if you're not doing 20 minutes. Let me tell you, 20 minutes was too long to start, so I went back to 5, and then I went up. And I eventually got, when I was in ministerial school, to an hour. And I would sit knowing and allowing the realization to come through me. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. And then every breath you take, every time you drive, what would happen, or you're in a vehicle, what would happen if we breathed in, I am love? We find places to do it. But at some point, then, we have to shift how we live our lives. Because there's this, autonomic nervous system that kicks in that says, I'm being squeezed, I don't like this. Our ego has to go through a death to see something else. And so then we have to begin the practices. So every second, this instant is love in your life. It is the ground of your being. It's the truth of who you are. And this is what Jesus taught. This is what all wisdom teachers have taught. I love that, Jesus said, God is love, and they that dwell in love dwell in God, and God in them. Myrtle Fillmore said, God is love, and divine love harmonizes, strengthens, enfolds, heals, and protects you. God in the midst of you is the tower of strength and stability. When we think that we can't go through something, somebody has told us an untrue story. Humanity has gone through unbelievable things and continued to rise to the extent that they allowed their hearts to believe they were more than whatever was there. And so at some point, we go back and pick up our hearts and say, I have a journey. I have a path. I have an essence to walk. Ernest Holmes says, love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. Only love knows love, and love knows only love. I mean, this idea is such a powerful one. I don't know anybody who literally did not say in some form or another, this is the path. But then how do we do it when we get squeezed? You know, we've been looking at the idea of creative stress. It is not fun. By the way, one of the things that happened during this time, okay, Lent starts on Wednesday. And by the way, we have a booklet. Unity publishes a booklet. 40 Days of Letting Go. And if you want to work with it, they have them in the bookstore. If they don't have enough, they'll order you one if you want to. That's up to you. But I would invite you to say, what would I like to let go of? What old idea? And then to begin saying, how can I be love? Because every time we do an act that is love, unconditional love, it changes our brains. They have now proven that when we are working with special needs kids, the only solution, these kids who, especially the Eastern Bloc countries, where these kids have had a disconnect, the only answer is unconditional love. That is the only thing they know that actually gets through those brains. Because that's what every one of us desires. We desire love. And so when someone's showing you fear, they're saying, I need love. It's a call for love. That's what the Course in Miracles says. Everything is love or a call for love. So when the people in our lives are calling for our love, the fascinating thing is they know where to push our buttons. And we have to find enough breath to say, this instant is love. And in this place, I can love. I can do an act that's more than who I thought I was. Because somebody lied to me in the past. I've been given wrong information. It's a culture. I'm healing that culture. I'm standing for a larger picture. And then I can turn and find a way when I'm squeezed to touch another life. And I believe that we won't find the fulfillment until we step into our day and find ways to touch lives. Who is it? Lynn McTaggart, in her book, The Bond, said the basic urge of humanity is to understand the bond that we have with each other and to live that in a wholeness that reminds each of us we're creations of the infinite. So we begin seeing that in others, begin holding it. And then the places where we're squeezed, and in creative stress, they say, just pay attention. How much stress are you in? Embrace it, have a direct encounter with it, and then it goes into a handshake of invite it to talk to you. Invite it to tell you what belief it had. And then begin to go into what can I do to shift that practice. And believe me, some of them are generational. And open your arms and say, here I am, because I came to change the places that my parents hurt, that my grandparents hurt, that the ones before them hurt. I'm here to change the vision that you are different than me. Instead, we're here to allow that to move forward. And if I can't get into my action, I can get it into my mind, and that's where I begin. I begin my day, and I'd invite you to begin every single day saying, I am love. The truth of my being is that I came to receive love, to give love, and to be a channel for the universe to know more love. And at the end of the day, in the places you've blown it, love yourself. Find out if you got to make amends. It's the best way. The book that I work with, Real Love, it's like, go and tell them what you did. Man, I blew it. Talking to my 23-year-old, man, I blew it. I didn't remember who I was when you said that. And it's me. And I don't know how to do it now, but I'll sit with you. And her comment was, okay, whatever. And I was like, thank you. And whatever gets up again and says, I can love. I would just invite you to open to the truth that this instant, you are love. Thank you. Thank you. And one of the great gifts I believe we have is gathering together with people who are all saying, I know it's in there somewhere, and I want to find it, and I know it's in you, and I hold that space for you, and it's just such a joy. We have the opportunity to really, we call it receiving our tithes and our love offerings, but I really believe what we're doing here, and I'm learning so much more about it, is we're making an investment. I believe one of the greatest investments we can make in humanity is sharing ideas that say, we know who you are, you're whole, infinite, and complete. And by doing that, we recognize that you are here as that channel. And so the ability for us to receive these gifts and to be a part of this, of just knowing, first of all, the big lie we believed was that there wasn't enough for all of us in humanity. We hold and know that there is enough for every person to be treated with respect, to have housing, to have food, to have all that they need, and that we are a part of being able to hold that and to see it coming into formation. So as you hold your gifts, and this slide shows some of the ways you can give them. There's a blue card in front of you. If you'd like to know about automatic giving, I'd invite you to be a part of that. I believe in investment in this community. We've been doing this for 95 years, which is pretty spectacular. Unity has been in the Portland area doing that. We've been in this space since, 1955, I believe it is. And I'm so grateful for this space and our ability to do that. But the invitation is that when you give on a regular basis, when it comes out regularly, then it allows us to have a foundation from which we work and we do the work that we do. We're going to say our blessing. This blessing is always about love. It is always knowing that divine love, that very energy of the idea of love, will move through us. So our blessing is divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Let's affirm that together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen.
Imagine you and me, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the one you love and hold them tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. So happy together. And how is the weather? So happy together. So happy together.
All right. I want to just share with you in just a moment, we're going to sing our youth in, and that is one of the great gifts that we get to experience and be a part of in this community. We are doing bingo downstairs, and you may wonder why in the world we're doing bingo. Part of this journey during the pandemic, and it has been a fascinating one, is to begin saying, how can we be in this space and allow it to be a community center? How can we know a larger picture than what's happening here? When the pandemic began, not only did we have 23 teams of volunteers that were doing all kinds of things, and they went pretty much to, I think there were about 2. The chaplains were here, and a couple, and then everybody else. It was just like, okay, life shifted, and we all learned to deal with it. And then we also, about 40% of the income of this community was through rentals, and they went to zero. And so we've begun saying, how do we use this space? How do we move through this time? And so part of it was to say, how can we use downstairs? One of the things we're looking at, and we'd love anyone's support who has any ideas with this, is we have a commercial kitchen. And I know that is something that can be used as a space. We've looked at schools, and that's something right now that has not panned out. We've looked at whether do we start our own, what do we do? And we've also looked at what can be done, and one of the ideas has always been bingo. There are several communities who have started saying, we're a community center because we allow this to happen here, and people love it. I did not know. I'm now educated on how important it is and how many people find their community and their value through that. So we're doing a test case. We're looking at doing that as part of who we are and part of sharing that. And I want to say we have many support groups. We have many AA groups, NA groups. We have a new group that's starting that I think you'll hear more about. But we have all these different groups that are there supporting people on their spiritual journey. So those happen all the time. And so we're working to use our space in a way that loves us. If you haven't been downstairs, I'd invite you to go downstairs and just be a part of being in this space and being with each other. Play bingo, find out what that's like. But a lot of it is we just keep revisiting who we are and how we are. And I want to give one thing, and then we're going to sing in our youth. I want to say, I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks. Part of this journey for me has been, how do I heal and have enough space and breath? I had somebody say, you've been gone more than usual. And I said, well, it was about 2.5 years with no Sundays gone. And so that's probably part of this. But I'll be in Hawaii. We have Reverend Evan. And if you do not know his transformational journey, I would invite you to find it and just experience it. We have Reverend Diane, who is a CSL minister, or a religious science minister, who is fabulous. She brings her light and her presence, and it's such an important, I believe, piece for us to have that. When I get back, we're going to start a spring renewal. We're going to go in and dig up the ground more. This was just a beginning, just so you know, because I believe if we don't, Johnny Coleman, one of Unity's she was Oprah's minister. She was a light. She used to say, it works if you work it. Otherwise, forget it. These principles are nice, but what are they? If you don't normally come when I'm not here, I have an invitation. I believe that we come for principle. I don't think we come for anything but finding principle. Come, sit in this space, and you will find what you need every single time. I did that. My mother used to say, I'm not talking to you unless you are attending church. And I was in Dayton, Ohio, and they smoked in the sanctuary. And it was not, they said the minister did truth by trauma. And she used to say, honey, you go sit in there. And I can tell you what, for 2 years, I sat every single week in shag carpeting that smelled like smoke, and I got what I needed, and I began healing. And so find a way that you can be a part, knowing it's not a personality, it's not a person, it's a consciousness. We're going to sing our youth in right now. And again, it's creating an energy field of love. So the love that you are is an action. It's a verb. Love is a verb. I'd invite you to create an energy field of love into which they walk. Yes, come on in.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you.
And so in recognizing that love, first of all, we love you. believe in you. We hold that light for each of you. We're so happy you're with us. And we also get to stand as a community and sing, "Let there be peace on earth." We're setting an intention here. So I'd invite you, if you're able to stand, stand. If not, just join in as you are. You're going to sleep too.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all agree. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Oh, yes. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. We're going to join together in our unity prayer, and then we'll sing our youth out. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right, and they make it firm. Okay. We are going to sing.
The love of God is in my heart. Thank you for this day. The peace of God is in my life. Thank you for this day. Oh, feel the love of God, the peace of God. Oh, feel the love of God, the peace of God. The joy of God is in my heart. Thank you for this day. The truth of God is in my life. Thank you for this day. Oh, feel the joy of God, the truth of God. Oh, feel the joy of God, the truth of